What's going on, everybody? We are back here at Third Turn, Oldham Gardens. We're having a great time. It's Artists to Know. We're back again. We're going to talk to some more artists, and we're going to keep this thing going. Remember to tune in, and we got so much more to come. See y'all. Thank y'all. Enjoy the show.
You gotta know you're great, no matter what these people gonna say. You better know your worth. Beat me up, Scotty.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Ted the Too Deep, and we are back with the Artists to Know. I mean, we have so many episodes right now. We are like in the middle of the season, and it is absolutely great. But we're gonna continue this thing on, and we got another Artist to Know right now. So, what's your name, homeboy? How you doing?
What's going on, Semi? What's happening, everybody?
Hey, yo. So we got Semi. He's here. And we're gonna give you, we'll give you an interview. We're gonna go and we're gonna tell the people a little bit about you, and we're just gonna continue to go on from there, man. So first off, man, I try to ask this question because I be curious on how you all get started. So like, how'd you even get started making music, bro?
Man, I've been making music since I was a kid. I always tell this story. I was in 8th grade and had a whole binder full of songs written from stuff on the radio, and got it confiscated by the teacher. Teacher read them, and after the class was like, "These are actually really good. I think you might have something here."
Oh, wow.
I just been with it ever since.
Yeah. So were you recording it like at that age, or you just
I was just
writing?
I was just writing, just having fun with it. I didn't know anything about recording. I really wasn't trying to be a rapper, but I just grew up into music, Timbaland, you know, that 97 era when the lid and it was all out. So I really just took it from there, and it was just a joy, like a passion.
Yeah. So like, what made you like? How did you get connected with somebody that actually started doing like studio engineering and things like that?
Yeah, I linked up with the homie. I think I was a senior in high school. Telepath, my homie back in SAC. He had the whole joint. He had been doing it. I think we was in like a science class or something together. And I think I seen him listening to songs and telling people it was his. And I was just listening to it. And I think I just hit him up and knocked out a whole album. Like, never really rapped before, didn't know anything about song structure. He taught me a whole bunch from the jump. You know, we was knocking out of the closet and stuff. And by the time we had got done with it, I knew how to record myself and everything. So, shout out to Telepath. That's just started from there, senior in high school.
And you said, so people can kind of get an understanding of what you were talking about. You said SAC. What are you talking about when you say
SAC 916? I'm from Sacramento, California.
Yeah, California.
You see it.
They say, yeah. Y'all know how to party, right?
All the time.
That was so cheesy. I don't know why I said that. But anyways, man, so, we know it's a lot of ups and downs with music, and I can tell, like, how'd you get here? What brought you to Kentucky?
I went to college up in Ohio,
okay.
And then I came down here, had my daughter, so.
Oh, okay.
Just doing the father thing.
Dope. And then when you got here, what year was it when you got here?
2015.
Hey.
Actually, take it back. It was 2013. I was here, and I didn't get into the music scene till like 2015.
Now what a lot of people don't know, there is an independent scene that is here. That is either, a lot of people say maybe needs to get better or whatever the case may be, but we have one, right? So how did you jump into that? Like, who was the first artist that you met that you saw was doing like music and stuff like that?
The very first show I went to was a Tierra P show.
Yeah. Shout out to Tierra P.
I know, man. That's the homie. She had this show it was at the time this bar around the corner from Lil John's.
Okay.
The jewelry shop. And then just from there, I went, seen her, hooked up with her, and then just kind of went through her kind of contacts, Facebook and all that. Met T-Mac, T McAfee. Tay all day, and then I met you. Yeah. And then it's just been rocking ever since, man.
Dope, man. So, one thing that I'm hearing out of all of that is like, you gotta keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you started doing shows, you started doing a whole bunch of shows, a lot of places, because in our scene, that is what typically happens, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, when did you drop the first project, or what was the first song that started getting you some type of like recognition
Out here?
Yeah.
Patience is the first one.
Yeah,
Everybody
Patience.
gets locked on that.
that
And that
was
wasn't
dope.
even the first song. I had Patience and another one, Call It, that I did together. That was the first one I pretty much did in 2015.
That was a good
From,
song. When you said that, it took me back for a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my jam, actually.
Funny thing, I don't even like listening to them records now,
that's
just because it's a
fact.
different point in time. But like even in that time, I'm like, I think that's what kind of got me so amped to perform is I got to do this again. Well, I guess I might as well give it my all. But them was the first couple records that everybody kind of noticed me for.
Absolutely. So you go through the scene and you make your you performing and stuff everywhere. So how do we get to the point where you start dropping multiple like albums or EPs or music projects? Like what inspired you to like do that? Because we're independent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and a lot of times the artists take a different route. They may just drop singles, they may just drop music videos or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But you are very consistent with dropping music projects.
Yeah.
So what is the reason behind that?
When I started at 15, I think I had them 2 songs, and then I wanted everybody to get to know more of me, so I just threw together about 6 more and put them on a compilation. And then from there, I just am always listening to different producers, and I'm always collecting. Like, if I listen to a beat and I like it, I'm gonna hit you up to download it. I'm gonna hit you up to buy it. I'm probably gonna write to it. And it just got to a point where every year I would have so much songs that I've written, recorded, I might as well. And then, every album has kind of a story behind it and everything. So it all would come together and make sense. So I always felt like as an artist coming out, you really want to get the fans to get to know you as a person. I felt the best way for me to do that is have a whole body of work, because I can give you different sides of my artistry all at once instead of a song every here and there, which I'm starting to do now. But I put out maybe 10 albums. I think I'm on my 10th one now. So
yeah, that's a lot. And that kind of leads me to my next question, because I'm like, so you're independent basically. My question to you is, would you like to stay independent, or are you like okay with the possibility of being signed to a major label?
I'm gonna
what's
go
the
with
stipulations between it?
I'm gonna go with the flow kind of person, but if I would say I would prefer to stay independent, just to be able to control what's going on, know what's going on. I think a lot of times when you go with the label, you don't really see the ins and outs of what's going on until at the back end when they're trying to push everything. If the right scene came around, right group, right people around me, I would definitely go for being signed. It's definitely not something I'm like super pushing for. The industry is kind of crazy. You got to watch out for different things. So I'm cool with being independent for right now. Even going forward, I'd be cool with being independent.
So if somebody offered you $50K right now to sign with them or to stay independent, what you choose?
I'm still going independent.
Why?
If they give me $50K, they give you $100K. They give you $1 million. If you really that worth it.
Well, but what I'm saying is, if you don't have the $50K now, why wouldn't you take the $50K and then get your independent label?
Because we can make our own $50K. When you give somebody that power, especially just with having
But you smart enough. So what I'm saying is, you smart enough to know your contract though.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't take the offer and not look at the contract. So I'm big on, there's no way that you would take a contract without looking at it.
Yeah.
Without having somebody see what's the in and outs and things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that kind of deal.
If
like,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it makes sense. But if it don't make sense, it don't make no sense.
Right, don't make no sense. Right.
No, if you don't have nothing to lose, the numbers have to make sense. But like I said, the main thing for me is going to be the vibe, the people around. If they're really looking out for you, if they're really trying to build your brand, then I'd go for it. But I'm definitely not going into any meeting like, so when is this contract coming up? I'm ready. I'm just like, okay, how can I make y'all better, and how can you make me better?
Right.
So it's definitely a team thing for me.
I got you. Now you said brand, and I see the 2 on your head.
Yeah,
right?
I said 2 exclusive.
2 exclusive. Can you explain to people, like, what does that mean? What does 2 exclusive
2
mean?
exclusive is, number one, the mindset of you can do whatever you want to do if you put your mind to it. You don't have to depend on other people to do anything. You don't have to always wait on somebody else. I kind of came up with Too Exclusive because me being independent with putting out the music, my interest kind of expanded to gear, to, writing different type of songs, writing different type of movies, stuff like that. And just realizing, I don't necessarily need to have somebody next to me or working with somebody to get a vision out. You can always do it yourself. So, I kind of came up with Too Exclusive as, believe in yourself and do what you do. Do what you got to do to get out what you want to get out.
So is that gonna turn into your label? Like if that's, like once you get,
Yeah, I got some ideas for a label. It would be called Too Exclusive Sound. My endeavors are never really about me, so I kind of, like I said, I kind of have a vision of what I want that label to be. It could be same thing with clothing line. Yeah. Too Exclusive Sport, something kind of having the athleisure line. I've kind of thought about, kind of get into. I got a couple dope pieces laying around and everything. So yeah, anything that comes up in your mind and you put your mind to it, that's what Too Exclusive is about. Absolutely. It's getting it out there.
Absolutely, man. So, a lot of times when people are doing the independent route and people are dropping, you said like 10 projects right now. What would you say, if there's somebody that's watching this, right? What would you say would be the biggest hurdles you have to jump, or some of the struggles that you kind of go through as an independent artist and as somebody who will consistently put out projects?
You have to learn to not block yourself. You have to learn that sometimes your ideas might not always come out as well as you want them to, but how can you work to get them to that level? And then you also got to not block yourself in the terms of don't overthink something. Sometimes just go with the flow. And things you can't control, just don't really worry about it.
Yeah. So and even in particular, like what if like, so I know some artists, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I know some artists that struggle with that drop in music, period. Like not saying that they're not talented anymore, not saying that they don't still write or they're not a part of music. But what kind of advice can you give them if they're not just having writer's block, they're kind of having like music block? Like, they're tired of not being supported, they're tired of not being heard, and like all of that type of stuff. What kind of advice would you have?
I would always say push through it. It's gonna be difficult. Anything you do that's worth anything is gonna be difficult. Push through it. If it's really a passion, if it's something you really love doing, keep doing it. Just find different ways to do things. I think that's a challenge that a lot of us have, is we get kind of stuck and complacent on doing the same thing the same way. Sometimes you have to kind of get creative. Instead of putting out a whole 15-song album, put out one song, put out a 30-second song, and just put it out on the socials and everything. Just find different ways to do it. Maybe something will click, and you're probably gonna have a whole lot of fun doing it. Something different. It's Absolutely. A different way to sing. Just try to switch it up.
Okay. What is your favorite music project? You got 10 of them, so you got a lot to choose. Now you can go favorite song, or you can go whole, album, EP.
The next one. No.
Okay, cool. But like, what is your favorite?
I like Ultra, which came out in 2019. Yep. Mainly because that was another full body of work. I think I hit every angle I could, from love songs to the hard songs and everything like that. I did some callbacks. I did a Patience too. Just elevated the sound, and I think that was where I really started to learn my voice, learn more about my pen game. It wasn't always super bar, super rapping and everything. I did a lot more melodies than that. I started focusing on more. And just from there, it was kind of a jumping point. You can do more than just the same type of style, same type of raps, talk about the same things. You can do different things. So it was all about growth. And that's one of the big things about me, is I really focus on growth. So all them 10 projects span, since 2008. Yeah. So, I can always hear the difference. Just with Ultra, I'm just like, okay, you've really jumped into another level in your artistry.
Yeah, and to me, you also have collaborations, which is really dope about you as an artist, that you're not really afraid to collaborate with other artists. So speak on some of your collaborations. I know you just dropped an EP with Peter Wesley, correct?
The main event,
so like
Peter Wesley, main event.
Absolutely. So like, what inspired your viewpoint on collaborations, and why do you feel like that's so important?
It's always important because they bring a different energy. Peter, for the Peter Project Man event, Peter can really, really rap. And I really wanted to get on that wave. And we have a lot of comments, so, you know, I just wanted to have fun with that. Some of the other collaborations I've done, I've been on Rob Lee's project, which is a big blessing, man. Rob Lee is super dope. So that was a different vibe. You know, I think the song I did with Rob Lee, Voodoo, was like my first feature in the city. So it was like a lot of pressure.
That's the one with Gio on it, right?
Yeah, man, crazy story. I was in the studio with Saint, Rob, and Shell and A. And I felt so much pressure. And just being in there, I was like, man, I really have to like deliver on this. And I knew I wasn't gonna do anything like, I'm gonna take over the song. I wanted the song to still sound good when I got on it. And just from there, man, that's what always been my focus is, you know, just make sure it sounds good when you want it. You don't have to do too much. But it was just a blessing to be in that space with those super artistic people. And just from there, that really kind of pushed me to, hey, man, Louisville has a ton of talented artists. Reach out to them. Like, I used to go to shows a lot, and that's kind of like a talent scout, like who's dope and everything.
I know all about that.
Yeah, so once you kind of see, you know, hey, so-and-so is dope, you know, link up with them, get to know them as a person, and then try to go from there with the records. A lot of records that I get on, that's really the first thing I think of is who would be dope on this record. And then whether it goes to me being on it by myself or whether it goes to that person, that's always like my first thought. And I always start with like the independent, you know, artist that's around. So it's really just a blessing to have been in these situations and to be able to do these group projects.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got to talk about one group project
for sure.
Because, you know, I feel like that's probably one of your best collaborations that you have
to date.
To date. In 2019, man, you dropped something with the artist. He's all right.
What was that guy's name again?
What was his name? Ted's Too Deep.
Yeah.
You dropped a collaboration with them, By the Horns.
Yeah.
So speak on, if you can, you know, like how you felt about, you know, linking up and actually doing something together and making By the Horns and making that something we wanted to put out for the people.
That kind of came up. We've been talking about doing something like that for a while. And like I said, man, I just had so many beats, like, let's do it. So I know working with Tez, I have to make sure that I know how to put a song together. I have to make sure that, number one, all the songs are gonna be fire, but when you're dealing with Tez, you can't just get on there any kind of way. And that was a challenge for me because, you know, when you're working with another artist, you want yourself to shine, but you also want the other artist to shine as well. And for the record to make sense. If it don't make sense,
they'll get it.
They're gonna get it. So like working on that with you was like super special to me. That was, I think, the first time I've ever done a group album together with another person. So it was special in that regard, and then it was just dope because I felt like I can just throw up any type of record that made sense, and Ted's gonna knock out the park. Ted's always do. So.
I try, man. I try my best.
I mean, I like working with artists that I know is gonna knock it out the park. I mean, Tez has a line, and all he does is throw lobs. Like, I feel like I can do the same thing. So.
So, I mean, I think that is so dope about you, bro, is that collaboration piece, because a lot of times, you know, I'm big on networking. So I think it's really important to network. And then once you network, you collaborate. So if people don't do that, you know, or they hesitate to do that, you know what I mean, they could really be stopping themselves from doing some cool things and meeting some new people. So I really appreciate you being that collaborator and not being afraid to be like, yo, I got a song or I got a project I'm thinking about, let's make it happen. So that's really dope about you, man. So, you know, one thing, again, man, is the consistency piece, right? Being consistent to me is very important as an artist. How do you stay consistent with your personal life and with the music, and, you know, continue to push out that music? Like what kind of tips or things that you would tell people about staying consistent?
I'm just trying to stay disciplined. When you stay disciplined with your choices, You stay disciplined with, you know, your body, with the type of music you're selecting, the type of records you're putting out. It helps a lot. So you're not all over. You don't want to feel like you're all over the place. Because when you're all over the place, you're not going to be consistent. So I really just focus on me, what I'm doing, health-wise, mental health-wise. And then when I really focus on the records, you know, is this a record that I should be putting out? Or is this a record I should probably throw up to somebody else to put out? And then just focus on the discipline in that sense, you know, just staying true to your brand and what, you know, type of image I'm trying to put out. So just stay disciplined, people. Don't let it slip.
No. So, you know, you're an artist, man.
Yep.
And the biggest thing for me with artists, man, we want to know what you got coming up next, what, you know, what is out that people can listen to right now. So kind of tell the people that, like, you know, what you got out right now, what's coming up next, and how can, you know, people find you and things like that.
Right now, got a project out, 7 songs. The main event, Peter Wesley. Shout out to Peter Wesley. Before that, I've dropped like 6, 7 singles in 2021. I'm in love with all of them. I don't know what happened, just started going crazy. And that kind of bled into this Peter project. I got about 4 more projects I'm gonna put out in the next couple months. So stay on the lookout for that. I'm really secretive, so I ain't gonna tell you who. You can probably guess one of them is sitting right across from me. But you know that's gonna happen because all we do is make hits. So yeah, we got about 4 more that I'm gonna be putting out. And then we're gonna see which one is the best.
Yeah, I know which one is best, but we're not gonna get into that.
Think you know.
Yeah. So again,
But you have no idea.
Right. So now we break it down and we say this at the end of every single series, right? We talking about you. We learned some things about you. Now, again, tell the people, why are you an artist to know?
I'm an artist to know because I'm authentic. I'm me. All these records you're gonna hear from me, they're all authentic, 100%. You know, I'm not trying to be out here saying what I'm not doing. You know, I'm not trying to act like anything I'm not. But I'm gonna give you variety. I'm gonna give you different type of records. They're always gonna slap. I mean, you're not gonna get a record from me that's like that. But you know, like I said before, I'm all about growth. So I'm gonna keep growing as an artist, keep growing as a man, as a person. And you're gonna see that in the music. So just, you know, follow along.
Yeah. And where can they find you on social media?
2 Exclusive Semi on all socials. Website 2exclusivesound.com.
All right, man. And look, this is it. I appreciate you for coming out, man. And listen, we are going to continue Artists to Know. It's a lot more to come. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and make sure you check out Semi. We out of here.
Yo, I go by the name of Semi. We just did the episode of Artists to Know with Tez. You can find me 2exclusivesound.com. All the socials, 2Exclusive Semi.